Hey everybody, it's Pat Jones, and we're here with another TurfZoom brought to you by our friends at Aquatrolls. It's getting chilly outside here in Cleveland, and based on what I'm hearing, it's getting pretty chilly in Chicago too. So it seems like an awfully good time to talk to our friend Tim Christians from McCray Memorial about what he's doing to get ready for winter. Tim, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm better than I should be, but here in Cleveland, it is starting to chill down a little bit. So we're starting to think about that. But take a look back. How has your year been compared to the pandemic year? How did things play out for you this year compared to the craziness of 2020?
It was different. And the biggest difference was I was actually able to find a lot of labor during the pandemic year, and I was able to get projects done, do a lot of teamwork. This year, I wasn't able to find anybody, and it was we really struggled. I was only able to find a couple college guys, and they were only here for 2 or 3 months. And the weather too was a big difference. I do
Yeah.
everything based on growing degree days. And last year with growing degree days, I sprayed my fairways 9 times, where this year, with the weather how it was, I actually had to spray 11 times. So yeah, it really, we went through 2 separate droughts. So that was another thing. And then my assistant was out for 14 days in June with COVID.
Oh
So it's
no.
just, yeah.
So what did you sacrifice? I mean, you can't do everything if you just don't have people. So what kinds of choices did you have to make about edging or, bunker work and things like that? What did you do?
The biggest thing for us was um not focusing on like the detail work of flower beds and stuff like that. So
Yep. Something's got
basically,
some- something's
yeah,
got to give.
yeah, exactly. So that was our biggest issue. Was
So normally, how many staff people what's your desired level of total staff?
years for years. I've been here, this my 13th season. I'm wrapping up. So normally I always had 12 guys. When I started here, I had like 18 guys,
Yeah.
and I just kind of, as guys left, I didn't need to replace them because of how I did things differently than the guy before me. And then all of a sudden, I lost a lot of my guys during initial COVID because they found other jobs and they didn't think we'd be open. So,
Mhm.
and then I was able to find a ton of help through Indeed, and
Mhm.
got a lot of guys that just lost their jobs from COVID and stuff like that. And so, and then this year, I just wasn't able to find anybody.
Right. So how many did you end up with for your team this year?
Right now we're at like 5, which makes it really tough.
But you know what? Everybody I talk to is at kind of like at half or
Yeah,
slightly less than half of
yeah.
where they'd like to be. So you're right in that same ballpark. So what do you plan to do to try to do differently next year and see if you can't get at least closer to your optimum staffing levels?
Get out early with the posting applications and just talk
Mhm.
to anybody I can find. Talk to my workers and see if they have some, like, even their kids or other
Mhm.
relatives that are looking for work. So I was lucky. Our crew foreman, his son, has been on with us for the last 2 years, and that greatly helped because he was supposed to go to college last year, but he decided not to go because of the whole quarantining at college. He just went to a community college, and
Right, right.
it's been, yeah,
It's a tough thing, there's some guys I talk to are trying to, partner up with high schools and try to get, get to know the coaches a little bit and try to find
yeah,
some people that will come in and become a steady flow. So everybody's trying something different.
yep,
But,
exactly,
I think you're exactly right, though, is to really start soon looking at your
yeah.
next season staffing because waiting until March ain't gonna work.
No, it's not. It's just, and you're competing with every other golf course and every other landscaping company in the area.
Yep.
So
So have you done blowout yet? Or are you all ready to go and put her to bed for
we
the
are
year?
So tonight we'll be watering greens for the last time. We're currently spraying our greens with a wetting agent, and then we'll flood them tonight, and
Yep.
then we would start blowing out on Monday.
Yep.
So
So last time you talked, this came up, and that's why I wanted to kind of follow up on it. Here we are in early November, and it's that time of year when you're starting to shut down. And a
yeah,
big issue is the course gets dried out. The course gets desiccated with between the kind of dry fall weather and temperatures and things like that. And you take some proactive steps to try to prevent that. And maybe that's kind of
yeah.
what you're talking about earlier. So what role does Revolution play in that for you?
So what we'll do is right before we blow out, like today,
Mhm,
we'll spray Revolution at the high labeled rate. We're actually mixing Revolution with Zipline
mhm,
because I like that penetrant of the 1690, and
mhm.
I had enough left over, so we're going at a really high rate. We're going at almost 8 ounces per thousand, and then tonight we'll just flood the greens, just push that water through, and that gets you want the Revolution when you water it and just go through the whole profile, and so that's our goal. And then I I initially did it, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, and I only did half the greens because I wanted to see, because a Revolution, if you're going to put it out, you're going to want to get the effects of it. So I wanted to compare and contrast the greens, and I found the ones that I did it on were so much firmer come springtime,
Mhm.
and they overall just better. And so then after that, I started doing it every year in my program.
Right. Have you changed anything over time? It sounds like you're going with, kind of high label rates and trying to get as much in there as you can. Has that a practice evolved over time for you, or you pretty much just stick with it?
I've just stuck with it, and the reason I switched to Zipline in season 2 years ago or 3 years ago when it first became available here,
Right.
because it was easier to water in than Revolution. I didn't have to flood it like I do with Revolution. Um, and the only reason I was doing Revolution in my fall app was because I pre-ordered a bunch of Revolution, so I'd have I had a year's worth of Revolution, and
There
I
you
was
go.
only doing it. And I was like, oh, I'll just put it out for my final. So next year I'm gonna probably switch over to Zipline because we're putting out our last of our Revolution this time. So
Right. But the point is, put them to bed with something that's going to help them wake up
yeah,
from. Yeah.
yeah, and it also it prevents. I don't know if I think it prevents buildup of ice and stuff on the greens.
Hmm.
It just overall the greens are so much better when I do it. And I saw that first year and I was like, wow, this really works.
Yeah, it's just one of those little extra proactive things that you can do to help them wake up better
Yeah,
in the winter. So we'll that it's that time. So I'm happy that you're moving forward with this, and it's interesting that you're sort of evolving from Revolution to Zipline. And I think the more people play with those two products, the more they find what they can do best with each of them. So
yeah.
what else is on your to-do list this winter? What are the kinds of things you're going to try to accomplish up there?
We've got a lot of trees that we're gonna need to take out. And then
Yay.
right now we're overseeing a lot of our fescue and spraying our fescue. Our goal we had a lot of weeds in the fescue this year, and it was just because we didn't have the manpower. Because when I use Sethoxidam or Fusilade, I'll hand spray it. I don't put out the big sprayer. So we
Mhm.
just didn't have, and we got hammered with weeds in our fescue areas. So right now we're just really focused on getting those really good for next year, and
Right.
then seeding the thin areas. I find dormant seeding has really worked well on fescue areas. So
Absolutely. And then you said some tree removal, and you work for a single owner. You work for one owner. Does that make tree removal easier? Is he somebody who's or she somebody who's open to tree removal?
he's very he loves trees. He really likes trees. So
Right? Okay.
I mean, but he's open. You know, anytime there's something with a tree, um, I will say, hey, you know, this, and he's very open to hearing it.
Right.
So I'm lucky. And that's when I started here, the weakest part of my was trees. The weakest, I felt my weakest part of my whatever was trees. So I decided to get ISA certified
Well, good for you.
arborist. So
Yeah,
yeah, I've been
that's
a
the
certified
International
arborist.
Society of Arboriculture, right? Yep.
Yep. I've been a certified arborist now for almost 10 years. So and having that certification really helps, you know, I can uh, communicate with him better of why a tree should be removed or why it should stay. And
Absolutely.
I like, we have a lot of really old 100, 200-year oaks that
Mhm.
I'll do everything I can to keep alive. So we even had one that was split halfway up. It was right on the green. And I said, you know, this tree's been here a lot longer than this golf course. So we actually saved it. We cabled the tree and saved it, and it's still going strong. And we were
So
going to remove it. So
that's remarkable. And the arboriculture thing for superintendents, I think that's a very good idea. There's not too many that have done what you've done. I remember Danny Quast,
yep.
another Chicago legend. He was an arborist as well. So that's a great idea though, because it does give you the credibility and it gives you the knowledge on how to select those trees. So
Yeah.
so one last question, and this is just, I think it's just going to be the topic of the next 10 years is, okay, labor, let's just assume labor isn't going to get a lot better than
Yeah.
it is right now. So what do we need to do? What do we need to do as an industry? And, you know, you hear about autonomous mowing and some other things. What are you looking forward to, or some things that you think we really need to do to try to make golf course maintenance simpler so it doesn't require 18 people anymore?
I think really just going back to the simplicity of golf, you see it at courses like the Sand Valley Resort, where it's just the design is very simple, you know, not a lot of flowers and over doing it on the design, very simple, open concept with, you know, not very many trees, just going back to the simplicity of golf, what it, you know, what it is. It's an open area with tee, fairway, green,
Right.
and just, you know, make it simple. Because we're overdoing it, I think, with a lot of, and that's why I brought up Sand Valley, because, you know, you go there and you see it, and I haven't actually been there, but I had a long discussion with one of my reps who was up there, and he said it's awesome, you know, they don't overdo it. They
Yep.
just, you know, the greens are perfect, but other than that, you know, it's okay to let Dollar Spot run a little bit and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think that trend towards minimalism was already happening that when all of this stuff sort of came along, and I think maybe is going to accelerate it. You know, I feel
and
like
you're,
COVID did that for a lot of things, that there were
yeah,
already a lot of little trends and COVID accelerated them, the
yep,
labor issues, the supply chain issues, and all of that kind of stuff. So there were things that sooner or later we're going to have to deal with, and now we have to deal with them. But at the same time, COVID actually did some good stuff too. I
yeah,
think more people look at golf as exercise, obviously the cash flow, but more
yep,
people viewing golf as exercise, and more people bringing their kids, and particularly girls and women, out to the golf course. So, you know,
yeah.
it's a silver lining thing, but I believe you're exactly right that we just need to the hope that golfers get more accepting of that minimalist look. So how's your dad? For those of you who don't know, your dad is.
Dr. Nick Christians from Iowa State University.
There you go. We thought we'd give you a chance. So his program is just one of the legendary programs of all time. How long do you think he's going to continue to do it up there, Tim?
I've talked to him about it, and from it sounds like it's going to be wrapping up here sooner than You think, but you never know because he just keeps chugging along. So
Well, you count us in when he's ready for that retirement party. Count us in, and we'll come up and be part of that.
awesome.
And thank you again for your time. I know the folks at Aquatrolls appreciate your input and the way you're helping other people understand how you use that product. So you have a great day, and stay tuned, all of you out there, because we'll be back again soon with another TurfZoom from Aquatrolls.